Hello the internet, welcome back. We have finally a new dimensional class here, so I want to talk a little bit about the team composition that I've been using and what is the best team right now for math characters to be running if you have a math team, obviously, right? If you don't have it, it's completely fine. This is a new innocent super crayon. Reminder that the crayon is the most annoying boss out of every single dimensional class we have. Is the worst one by far, because the moment he goes Super Saiyan, you are dead, right? And it's a bit of a RNG, even though with manual play you can alleviate this. That said, let's enter into this. As usual, remember that just for participating you get good rewards, so always try to participate. Even if you only get to stage 5, it's completely fine. You still get good rewards when the season ends, because it's a free multi just for hitting one time with a random team on full auto, right? Now, if you want to optimize your team a little bit right now, what are the best units to be running, Sefhi? So let's jump directly into that, and we'll do a run later on area 18, which is the last boss, so I can show you guys how I usually go about my items. Now, I want to go a little bit over lane by lane, probably, so we can start going first with the front line. I think is the easiest one to talk about, because there are two core units here. The core units are going to be your Chloe as your main tank, obviously, and your nerd as a support character. I like putting my nerd here, but you can put her wherever you want. Just make sure wherever you put your nerd, make sure your DPS is behind to guarantee always not worrying about the buffs. Most of the time it's fine and she will be giving them regardless, but just in case, just, you know, to guarantee you are not fucking up anything, make sure you put them behind. All right, that's it. These two characters are gonna be the core when it comes to the front line. They are the best units in the game. Chloe as your tank and Ned as your basically buffer that will make sure everyone stays alive, right? Everyone becomes immortal thanks to all of the buffs she's providing. With her journey is even better, but don't worry about journeys. If you get them is good. Do not pull for them. You will slowly get them, right? There is no rush. Now, the last spot on the frontline format, there are 3 options that are viable. The first, Shady, for her utility and her silence and everything she's providing with the SP, is pretty good. It's a nice option. If you have her invested, she can work perfectly fine. The second option, and the one I personally use most of the time, is gonna be Leeds, because she is a dork and I like her. Now, Leeds, I will say for most people, it's gonna be better to run Shady, because without items, at least she's still providing her utility. Leads without items is not providing as much. So if you want to go all in into her, you can, and put items as a DPS, you can. But I would recommend probably Shady first. And the last option is Ifrit. I would only recommend Ifrit for people who have her Omega invested. Like literally, only if you have her Omega invested, I would recommend running Ifrit. She's cute, I like her. Whenever she gets a yarning, we will be testing, and hopefully it's a good yarning. But at the moment, the best one is going to be Shady and Leads. Whatever you want to be running it here, both will work. We can put Shady as an example for this run, even if I'm usually running my Leads because higher investment. That is for the front line. When it comes to the mid lane, there are basically 3 staple picks. Diana is your healer and also your buffer thanks to her passive skill. Alright, we go to her passive, increases all madness, allied, personality, apostles, attack. Pretty good. If you have her journey, you can take this to level 15, which is even a bigger attack buff. Now, that's your healer. You have, obviously, the main damage dealer for this team composition only if you have her journey. If you do not have her journey, you can substitute her with Alice, no problem. But if you have the journey, this is the main DPS for the Madness team currently. Seized damage output is stupid, and honestly, it's a fantastic character that we just decimate the boss, absolutely. And then, to nobody's surprise, the last staple pick on the mid lane is going to be Renewa. I like putting both my DPS and Renewa close to my Nair. That's just personal preference a little bit, you know, make sure there is no problem with the buffs, but I like it this way. Renewa is a character that not only will make your life easier by finishing the boss, but it's gonna be also buffing everyone. Like, having the ability to increase the action speed and reduce action speed on the enemy, it's broken. It's literally broken. It is really, really OP. No reason to not use her, regardless if you have the journey or not. Once again, a really good unit to be using. Like I said earlier, if you do not have the journey, you could be running Alice instead, and it does work. I usually prefer to run Sis because I have the journey and it's a damage output that is, you know, competing with even Aldine characters. Something to remember is that you do not need to be using the ultimate on Diana. It's kind of a useless ultimate in my opinion in most content, at least for PvE, because it's just AoE damage, which she has no damage, and then some knockback. But again, for most bosses, this will not apply. So no need to be using her ultimate. You can disable it, and we'll talk about ults on a second. And then lastly, the backline. There are only 2 good options here, and then 1 filler. Obviously, Mayo and Belita are the only good options, with the last one being either, you know, Maison or Yumimi, whatever you think is cuter. You can put either of them, doesn't matter. Mayo can have really good damage output. It depends on how much investment and what items you're putting on her. Do not worry about poison. You don't have to really worry about her, about that specifically. What you want to be going on, it's the explosion that it's causing, right? So when the poison ends, it's going to be causing an explosion, which is going to be actually a pretty good damage. That is where most of the damage comes from. And then when it comes to Belita, a nice magic damage dealer. Even if you go with items, I personally feel like at the moment it's not an impressive amount of damage she can put out, but once again, there is nothing else, so you kind of have to run her, right? Now, that is the best composition currently. When it comes to seniors, I will suggest you guys obviously will leave Chloe, will leave Nair, Sist, and Renewa. Those 4 are mandatory. The other 2, you can kind of go based on your investment. To me, it's gonna be Shady here, and it's going to be my Mayo. You could be going for Belita if you have it invested. I don't like going for my ultimate on Diana. Now, before we do a run, like I said earlier, this is always gonna be depending on your account investment, on your RNG. There is a huge difference between number 1 clearing in 19 seconds, 19 seconds, right? And even myself at 16 is already almost 2 minutes. It's a huge difference, and even if you scroll down more and you go, you know, to top 60, whatever it is, Lolly is not fully clearing yet. So like there is a huge difference on what people are clearing, how fast they're clearing, and it's always going to be based on your account investment. So don't feel bad if you get the stop or stuck at, you know, 15, 13, 9, whatever it is. The crayon hits really hard. It is normal. That's it. For items, this is what I use. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of RNG on what you get while you are playing. What I try to usually do is focus on 2 DPSs and try to get at least 1 support item. So here, a pretty good example. Chloe will survive regardless what you put in her. If you want to make sure 100% she stays alive, you could be going for the lead 1 Weston and, you know, guaranteeing she will not die. But I like getting my J Codex into Sist because it's a really powerful item for her specifically. The Chopin Magical Backpack is a nice item for any frontline character, so we can put that in there. Now here, you could be going for Belita for the cake, but reminder that the moment the boss spawns ads, you will be losing this buff. So it's a little bit more useless, quote unquote, than just putting, you know, some extra damage with the drone on your Renewa, for example. Same thing here. It's attack speed, so you could be going either on your Renewa, or you could be going on your Chloe, or you could be going on your Sist. I like putting J Codex, Dragonlight Sword, and the Cape on Sist, but there is so much RNG that it is going to be random. Now, I like my Chloe as a sub DPS, so I put some items on her as well. A Cape goes directly into Sist, obviously, and we go to Dragonlight, so that's the complete build for Sist. You can get double J Codex, and it's really good for her, but again, a lot of RNG in here. You can get lucky, like we're getting lucky right now getting multiple Shion Capes when usually I don't get this many. Like literally, usually I do not get this many. Something we are, however, being quite unlucky on is actually getting SP items. So any of the new items from Kiarot, we have not gotten a single one. My god. Honestly, I'm just gonna put this here just to finish her off. It's fine. Alright, Belita, you get your cake, I guess, until something spawns. Then when it comes to this, we don't really need it. We can put this on Nair just for the damage reduction, the extra damage reduction. And then lastly, we get yet another cape. My god, we've gotten a cape for every single DPS on the team. Now, usually I prefer to get SP items. We can try this one, but I do prefer getting SP items because they just scale better. Like it's such a great item getting, you know, 1 on your frontline for Nair and 1 on your Renewa, so you can spam skills with Sist. Also, really important, I auto. You will get worse scores by going full auto and being lazy. If you want higher scores, you should probably try to play on manual, because unless you are a heavy spender, it's gonna be really hard for you to fully clear on auto. Like, you need a really invested account to fully clear on auto. I had to restart multiple times today in order to achieve it, because when he goes into Super Saiyan, well, he just, kills everything. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. He goes into Super Saiyan. We got lucky here with the Renewa stopping time, so we might be able to clear. Also, yeah, perfect. So we got pretty lucky. Like I said, Shady helps a lot more than running something like Leads, because the utility with DSP plus stopping or reducing the action speed, it's really nice. And then if we compare the damage, even while everyone has, a few items, look at Chloe with doing more damage than Renewa. It's stupid, bro. So we get Sist, being our hyper carry, Chloe being our sub DPS tank, and Renewa being our sub DPS support, even though she's technically a DPS herself. This should have been a better time than my previous one, I think. 146 was the previous one. This is 119, a lot better. So that's basically the team that I've been using, what I would recommend, obviously. And as usual, guys, this heavily depends on your account. It's normal to not fully clear. It's normal to be stuck. It's normal, if you don't have a lot of the items maxed out. Only take these runs and these videos as a reference, because they are not a fair comparison. Sadly, right? It is what it is. So that's it. That's everything for this video. As usual, we are live every single day. Any questions you guys might have, feel free to leave a comment down below. Good luck with your pool, rates, and I'll see you on the next one.